This is ANN News Brief.
In a major shift in its relationship with Africa, the United Kingdom says it has signed 11 trade agreements with African countries just a few days ahead of Brexit, when it will officially leave the European Union. At least 12 African leaders are in London for a summit aimed at boosting the UK's private sector investment on the continent. Africa is seen as an attractive market for long-term investors, with many of the fastest growing economies and a rapidly expanding population, with 1 in 4 of the world's population expected to come from the continent by the middle of the century. UK's Department for International Development says it is now focusing on using aid money to support investment, digital technologies, green energy, and women entrepreneurs. Primary and secondary school teachers across Malawi have begun a strike action in solidarity with their colleagues who did not receive their salaries in December. The government removed some teachers and thousands of other civil servants from the government payroll last month for failing to produce national identification ID cards that were recently introduced in the country. The government says it will use them as the primary source of identification of its workers in order to flush out ghost workers from its rolls. Meanwhile, the Teachers Union of Malawi, TUM, says none of the teachers that were removed from the government payroll have failed to produce IDs. TUM says the identity documents were misplaced by authorities after submission to them. The Teachers Union has the backing of the Civil Society Education Coalition, a leading civil society organization in the education sector. Union Secretary General Charles Kubchenga says not all teachers will be attending classes. Instead, they will stage a sitting at their nearest district education offices until all teachers have been paid. Education Minister Justin Saidi says the government was willing to engage the union in order to amicably resolve the pay dispute. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN. Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
Guinea-Bissau's Supreme Court has thrown into doubt the outcome of the presidential election as it called for a clarification of the tally, hours after the Electoral Commission released the final results. Former Prime Minister and ex-Army General Umaro Sissoko Embalu has been hailed as the winner of last month's runoff vote, but the ruling party candidate and runner-up, Domingos Simios Pereira, has contested the results, saying the election was marred by fraud. The commission released the final results on Friday, confirming Embalu's victory with 54% of votes cast versus Pereira's 46%. In a ruling backed by 5 of the 8 judges, the Supreme Court has ordered the National Electoral Commission to clarify tabulation procedures used for the vote to ensure the freedom and fairness of the exercise. That is ANN News Brief at 11. For details on these and other breaking stories, visit our website, annafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.